You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the only one media group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dinny Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Hey, what is going on? I am your host, dini-mussolini. I guess there were some lines unmuted at the beginning there. Anyway, welcome to the show. There are over 12,000 of you guys on the line with us this morning, so I really appreciate you guys for tuning in, right? Cold front came through yesterday, right? Because we did get a little warm weather here in the south, but I'm not sure about anywhere else. But now it's cold, crazy bipolar weather. Anyway, I want you guys to try this little experiment. Whenever you're sitting, lower your head, say to yourself quietly, I am really depressed. I feel awful. Now tell me, how do you feel? Okay? Now try this. Sit up straight, or stand up if you want to. Look up towards the sky. Put a big smile on your face and say out loud with excitement, I feel great today. I am alive with excitement and enthusiasm. Now how do you feel? Do you notice a big difference? Sometimes it's all you have changed your attitude. Is it realistic to say, I feel great today when life is full of problems? Well, you have a choice. You can choose to be depressed about your problems or despondent about your problems. You'll probably get some sympathy, but it's difficult to make your house payment with sympathy. Unless you stand on a street corner with the "Will Work for Food" sign. Or you can choose to attack them head on with a positive attitude. Now, come on. A positive attitude don't come with pixie dust and a pocket full of unicorn sparkles. No. A positive attitude won't change your situation. But if you hold your head high and look toward the stars, you'll see a lot more opportunities than if you're looking down and depressed. You'll have more energy and more success than other people. You're in complete control of the way you act and the way you feel. Use that to your advantage every moment. Take it from me, Dini-Mussolini. That is my word, and word is bond.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
Yo, hello and welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Music, or Inside the Book, Inside the Business, where we dive into the minds of the people who create marvelous things. It feels so good to be back with you guys once again. So one time for my people who are indigos, crystalline, or starseeds, or for my Vigilantes audience family, and 2 times for my people who are vegetarian or vegans. If you're like me, we are averaging over 37,000 live listeners, and we've been at this for 4 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we are still evolving, baby. It is all because of you, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, movies, and research in every aspect, and we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on our show, from Grammy Award-winning artists to nominees to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors and aliens. or people who think they're aliens. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out. To book an interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. And that's V as in Victor. I'm passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together, yes, together, we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. You know the number to dial, 701-801-9813. Text that number to your buddy right now and tell them to tune in to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in the mix directly from our website, onlyonemediagroup.com. Right from the homepage, you can slap that go live button and you'll be right here live in the mix and in the chat room with all of us. Feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here, but only as time permits. Sometimes my guests and I talk entirely too much and we take up the entire hour. And as always, all episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/onlyonemediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, or any app from the Google Play or iTunes Store, or over at our website. And that goes for every single episode that we ever aired.
But no, it's incredible that you guys have called in. You're always so loyal to do that, even in the mornings. Actually, before we do that, we have to do this.
Wow! Do you have an idea that needs to get out there? PitchYourIdeas.org is looking for people with ideas to get to the industry.
PitchYourIdeas.org is looking for people with great ideas to get to the industry and to the public. Do you have ideas that need to get out there? Go to PitchYourIdeas.org and get your ideas out there.
PitchYourIdeas.org is looking for people with great ideas to get to the industry and to the public. Do you have ideas that need to get out there? Go to PitchYourIdeas.org and get your ideas out there. PitchYourIdeas.org is looking for people who don't know what to do with your talent or ideas. People who have ideas, inventions, movie scripts, TV scripts, and ideas that will entertain, inform, or make things better should go to PitchYourIdeas.org.
And there you have it, PitchYourIdeas.org. It is definitely a new year. I know there's magic in the air somewhere. I know there's a lot of inspiration going on, right? So if you have ideas written in a notepad, on your hard drive, in the back of your cranium, and you need a little help to get it out there into the world to help our lives better, PitchYourIdeas.org. They work in the movie or the film industry. So yeah, cool stuff. Check them out, PitchYourIdeas.org. So Vigilantes Radio, our interviews go beyond the music, the blog, the books, the movies, and into the minds of the people who create these marvelous aspirations. From researching our guests, relentlessly mining for details, and listening, reading, or watching everything we can, our interviews are designed to bring out the best answers possible through thought-provoking questions that have real substance. We're like TMZ. Not really, but we try. All right. Our guest today is a writer and so much more. So let's all welcome him to our show. Hey, Ian, you're now live in the mix with all of us. How is it going?
Good morning and Happy New Year to you, Dini.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. How are you feeling in this new year?
I'm feeling very optimistic. I think that's the best place to be, really. Here in California, of course, we've had these environmental issues going on for a few months now, and this week was challenging again. But I was doing your meditation, looking up to the sky, and all of that really helps. It does.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Is that environmental situation affecting you any? Like, is it stopping work?
Me personally, no, it's been okay. But I do live in the Santa Monica area, so during the fires, there was some of that smoke not too far away. I mean, really, maybe just a few miles. And it was just sort of hanging over the neighborhood for a number of days. So that was kind of unnerving. confronting, I guess. But, it cleared out and went into the holidays and things sort of brightened up. And we were so thankful to get all this rain, which sort of prevents these fires, but then we have the mudslides. So we just have to take one day at a time, I guess, really.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, man, let's go ahead and dive.
Today. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I have a friend who, my bandmate, he still lives out there in Cali. It's pretty rough for him. It hasn't directly affected him, but, the smoke still, is always in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and dive deep, man. I'm sure that things may be a little easier this go around since you've been in the film industry, but what are some of the most challenging obstacles in bringing a script like Clemente to life?
Well, I should say I like that coupling, the obstacles and challenges. But I think for Clemente, it's really been a battle of choices surrounding what aspects of Roberto-Clemente's life to bring to life. There are the must-dos in terms of his baseball career, drafting, stats, World Series, etc. But when we looked at his entire life, which was a number of years of research with my incredible writing partner, Joseph Loizzi, we found there were really an enormous amount of interesting and even anecdotal things to note. But at the end of the day, or even really the end of every scene in the screenplay, we have to ask ourselves the same question. Is this moving the story forward? Is it compelling enough and memorable enough to support the arc of the story? And in multiple redrafts, those choices become easier and easier, but they often sort of come back to haunt you. And one of us would say something like, "Oh, didn't we bring that up in the wedding scene?" And they say, "Oh, no, we cut that, remember?" I was like, "Oh, okay." It was an ongoing joke, but it's been amazing journey.
Yeah, and I know we just jumped right into that question. So for the listeners out there, Clemente is a project that's currently being worked on, correct? It's not exactly finished yet.
It's not finished yet. We have filmed the trailer as of 2 weeks ago, actually.
Nice.
So, we are in the process for sure. And the next 18 months will be fairly intensive with the rest of the production, the shooting, and financing. So it's very exciting. Very exciting.
Cool. The projection date is in 2019. Is there any chance that it may be out sooner than that?
I highly doubt it, just being very honest, that it would be released prior to that. Just given distribution and wanting to do certain festival circuits, to get it seen. So it will probably be 2019. Yeah.
Okay. So what sort of people besides baseball fanatics will find this project fascinating?
Well, it's really an important story and long overdue. I've learned more in the process, and really reaches far beyond baseball fans, for whom Clemente is really one of the gods. I mean, he's up there.
Yeah.
But it's a really intimate and personal story. Extremely gifted, and his humanitarian work is really what's kind of separated him, amongst many baseball greats, and so much that he did in a short period of time, tragically as it was. So it's an historical drama, primarily set in the U.S. and Puerto Rico in the 50s and 60s, before his death in 1972. And it's about someone who migrates from another country, in this case being Puerto Rico, which is uniquely still part of the U.S., which is an interesting angle. And there's a language barrier for him as well at first, and he's simply seen as a Black American, so he struggles to assimilate, but in different ways. And sort of as our own sort of history unfolds, the story starts to take on other meanings, and has other sort of platforms socially, as our culture now is sort of dealing with similar issues with dreamers and DACA and those sort of issues. It's kind of found another audience, I believe. So it's really a film for everyone. It's very universal. He's a very compassionate person, a wonderful father, and devoted, to his wife, and just almost obsessed with this destiny to fulfill, of making the world a better place, for people coming behind him. I'm sort of paraphrasing there, but he ultimately somehow knew he didn't have a lot of time, and that he had a lot to do, and all of that, sort of happening alongside this very impressive career, with the Pittsburgh Pirates, 18 seasons and 3,000 hits, which is really a major benchmark in Major League Baseball. So baseball really serves as, I guess, sort of the central kind of backdrop for the film, and we're very proud of how we've sort of melded these different worlds together. So it's very special.
Yeah. Okay. And my man, on top of being an actor, producer, and writer, which, man, I couldn't imagine doing all three of those roles. Yeah.
They're all very long.
Geez. Yeah.
They're very long days.
Yeah, I could imagine. But you're also a vocalist. How well does this talent work for you in your line of work with acting?
Well, it's interesting because it's really, as an actor, performer, it's another text, whether it's poetry or spoken word or rap or just straight singing. It's all storytelling, in some form. And so, singing kind of is one of the more really beloved forms of storytelling. I mean, there's so few things that we can kind of say we know, word for word, and we all sort of have songs like that. And so I started singing when I was very young. I was probably 8 or 9. A very musical family, a lot of musicians in my family, and many who are also professional musicians. Then I sort of continued with that through high school into college, and then my focus being more as an actor. In theater, of course, there's often music as a part of it, and the joke being that when in doubt, sing it. It's always used to elevate the drama of the story. So it's one of my great passions, definitely, and something I would like to spend more time in creatively.
Definitely. Now, I admire actors because of the art form. I mean, I'm just, totally in love with character development. But then when I learned that an actor can also sing, it's just, my wow meter just goes off, off the charts. I don't know why, but it's always been like that when I found out that an actor can also sing. I don't know, man. So right now I'm just on the wow.
Well, many actors also begin as singers or dancers. Yeah. A lot of actors are somehow, based in music in some way. So it's quite common. And then I guess we all sort of usually you gravitate to one area of it, more intensely. But it definitely keeps you on your toes and keeps challenging you to do things.
Yes, sir. How did you begin developing your talent as a vocalist, and when did you find out that you had this talent?
Well, I started playing piano when I was about, I would say, 6 or 7, and my aunt was actually my teacher, my piano teacher, so I couldn't really get out of it as kids do. I think eventually I was old enough to say, "Mom, I don't want to take piano lessons anymore," and she said, okay. But that's basically how it started, and then doing choir, and then doing musical theater, really learning how to read music and tell a story through lyric. And that's basically how it began. And then sort of branching out from that, I started to get more interested in just singing that wasn't specifically just for a show per se, or it was really more things I wanted to explore in terms of music. And but I do wish I had kept up my piano, I must say that, because I always am very impressed with people who can do the two at once, where you're saying you're impressed to see actors sing. I'm more impressed to see singers playing piano or people playing guitar and singing. I just think to have that tool in your back pocket is a great thing.
Definitely. I have to agree with that. All right, so why did you choose to do the role of Roberto-Clemente in the movie Clemente?
Well, I have to say, it's one of those sort of experiences where it was very instinctual. I sort of saw something about him, and I immediately sort of saw, there was a physical resemblance. There was sort of something in his charisma. And I'd never really experienced that before with another real person. Maybe in characters in a book or a play or something, you sort of have those reactions, or you're drawn to them. But there was something else deeper there, and so I immediately sort of started researching and finding out more about his life. And the further I went were sort of the more parallels and connections that I had to his life story. Really, his depth of soul was quite compelling. His ambition, his kindness. I also have a Caribbean background, and I grew up in Canada, but I also sort of emigrated to the U.S. to fulfill my dreams. So I had all of those sort of things that I related to, and there was also the physical challenge of playing, I guess, an athlete of this caliber, which could be a little intimidating, but I was actually excited about it. And the training involved, I thought this is something, this would be a feat, and something I could really just dive into with everything that I have to give.
Right.
So here we are.
Okay. Yes, sir, here we are. And the most important thing, how is this character relevant to you?
Well, I have to say, there's something about the humanitarian work that he did, and still sort of his legacy continues to do, that I connect with. and he was also a healer. And so, like, there's part of me which is a lesser known thing about him, which we really bring quite a lot of focus to. And in earlier drafts of it, we weren't sure if we wanted to really talk about that, because we thought maybe this is just too kind of, woo-hoo up there in the clouds. But eventually we said, no, this is really quite central to the character, and even sets his life apart that much more than people who we've seen on film. So I was drawn to those two specific things, and not that I specifically do energy work, or I wouldn't say I'm a healer, but those parts of it I felt very deeply connected to, and the ambition, I think, the sort of this relentless pursuit of fulfilling something. And this project may be one of those things in my career which I've dedicated so much time and energy to, and will probably be one of the lasting things, hopefully among many others. but I could see this leaving a mark, somewhere. And
definitely. Okay.
Once I focused in on that, I haven't really looked back.
Yeah. Okay. So, as a Scream do-it-yourselfers over here at Vigilantes Radio, I'm very curious about the production method in your studio, period pictures. What's the process like if someone wants to bring a project on board?
It's a good question, because I'd say we're sort of a startup company, though I guess we've technically been registered in the state of California for 12 years, but this is really the first project now in production. We have others that are in other stages of development, whether they're being written or in negotiations for rights, sort of legal acquisitions. But we're really a collective, I'd say. We're at no central location yet. That's a longer-term goal, to actually have our own studio space. And we're just, I guess, a collaborative of independent artists, and we're pooling our resources together as writers, directors, actors, producers, to get these projects done. And what's made it possible, I guess, are good professional relationships, and a lot of it is timing as well. So it's a very organic process. I'd say a good entertainment attorney also goes a long way, for sure. Making sure you're covered in all the right areas, and they're also part of your support system, and sort of seeing your goals through from beginning to end, because the creative side of it is much easier, as we know, for creative people. It's everything else that we struggle with. So I would say for filmmakers that may have an idea or a project, we're thrilled to read scripts or get pitches or communicate with people in the most productive way possible. So I would say just reach out or email us. Good old-fashioned phone call is always welcome too. And based on our mission, of course, we're more focused on subjects or stories that have some sort of historical perspective, and that kind of allows us to focus, I guess, our stories with certain resources and materials, and often they may be within the public domain, but not always.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what's the studio setup like?
Well, there is no actual central studio at this point. I guess what one of our goals is to actually have a space within which we could, actually shoot things in. So we're working as a production company more so than as a studio. I guess that would be the best way to answer that. And a physical studio would be one of our long-term goals for sure.
Definitely. Any insights you can give us into any new projects that you have coming up?
I'm actually doing another project later this year, which is a play, actually, called The Shooting. Yeah, written by Steve Hauser, and it's about two cops in South LA who are under investigation for the murder of a teenager who was questionably unarmed or armed, of course. Again, a very timely piece, and this one is speaking to the Black Lives Matter movement, and in this case it's in a large city, being Los Angeles. So looking forward to that. That'll be later this year when I can make all of the scheduling work, of course.
So this one is particularly targeted towards like a social issue.
This one is, and the author or playwright he's now retired, but was a criminal defense attorney and spent a lot of his career, really defending people that were sort of victims of these types of shootings. So dealing with the families and with the people really affected by these types of crimes. And so it's really looking at their personal lives, sort of things we don't see, when you really go into, the homes of these cops, what are they talking about with their wives? What are they talking about with their children? What are these meetings going on, within the internal investigations within the police departments? So it's really kind of, I would say, sort of pulling back the curtain on all of those things, and we'll see if that goes to film. But for now, it's being produced as a play.
Nice. All right. On a personal level, do you make personal statements, you as a person, when it comes to social issues, or do you let your professional side showcase your opinion through your art?
That's an interesting question. I would say in certain opportunities, I'm very open to speaking on my opinions on things that are current, whether they're social issues or political issues. I have no problems sharing those things. I think it's important, especially if you have a platform to do so, to do those things. At the same time, I think a lot of my work is very socially conscious. So I am making statements through that as well, but not exclusively, not at all.
Got you.
But I don't want to be misinformed. I really leave politics to the politicians.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have a point of view and to stand up for that. But it's important to know what you're talking about, because I think we're seeing a problem with a lot of politics now in our leadership is it's seemingly very misinformed or even uninformed, and that's a real problem.
It is. All right, man. Before we forget, Ian, We got to make sure that we got to make sure we get those websites from you. You know, the ones that people need to visit. They'll help them find out more info in the 411 on Ian-Eugene-Ryan. So where can they find you, and what will they find there?
Of course, well, there's always IMDb, which will tell you more about my career and background. And then my production company is periodpictures.com. And that's the company producing Clemente. And then I guess Twitter, Instagram, I'm under Ian-Eugene-Ryan, and you'll just find some stuff there. I have to really do more on those, but I'm getting on it. I just have to put hours into my week. And then there's also the newstudiolA.com, and that is my nonprofit theater company. So, and you can find out more about theater projects I'm working on there.
If you didn't get those links, I have them in the description of the show, so all you have to do is click it. I thought ahead, right? Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great.
All right, Ian, we're at our what our audience like is called the hot seat. This is their favorite part of the show. This is where you can actually showcase some of those hidden talents that you may have. Okay. So after the music break, it'll be time for our usual tradition. It's called the hot seat. Our fans love this part of the segment. And of course, along with the actual interview, what the audience get to hear either Ian-Eugene-Ryan's, perform some vocals for us, maybe tell us a poem, maybe have an inspirational speech, maybe he can freestyle rap, who knows, tell us a joke or a story, or maybe play a live instrument. You never know what these creative minds and the vessels we're producing a test of his true artistry, and maybe even some hidden talents. But for right now, we have artist by the name of Eddie James with his version of Hallelujah. We'll be right back.
Now I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty and the moonlight overthrew ya. She tied you to a kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair. And from your lips she drew took the name in vain. I don't even know the name, but if I did, well, really, what's it to ya? There's a blaze of light in every word. It doesn't matter which you heard, the holy or the broken. Hallelujah, I did my best, it wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth, I didn't come to fool you. And even though it all went wrong, I stand before the Lord a song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah. Maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew ya. And it's not a cry that you hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
True-noblest.com. Let's go. Hey, stay fit, stay motivated, stay focused. Quality over everything. True Noblest. If you're looking for a brand that's the dopest, something that you can rock, you'll look the coldest. T-shirts, beanies and hats, sweatshirts, even hoodies with a tank to match. You can wear it at the gym or when you run on the track. Need to check the website, yeah, I'm telling you facts. Hey, True-Noblest. Got you looking good, you know this. Take a picture, I mean right now. It ain't just a brand, baby, it's a lifestyle. Yeah, True-Noblest. Quality over everything. Yeah.
There you have it. True-Noblest.com. Quality over quantity. Check them out. True-Noblest.com for all your latest gear for in the gym or if you're just jogging on the street. Oh yeah. So what motivates billionaires? And guys, I'm not a billionaire, but maybe on the way to one, one day. Very optimistic about that. But have you ever wondered what motivates billionaires? They've long since accumulated enough wealth to provide a life of ease for themselves, their children, their grandchildren, and probably even more generations. Yet many billionaires are very hardworking people, getting up early each morning and putting in long days. They certainly don't need the money. So what drives them to do it? I call it positive habits, Is it greed or the desire for power? Perhaps, or maybe not. But by and large, greedy people do not usually succeed to any great extent because they are unwilling to provide value to people. With few exceptions, modern day billionaires didn't get to be billionaires by being greedy. No Scrooge McDucks. Hardworking billionaires are motivated by their vision, by the need to make a difference, by the need to leave their mark on the world. And it is most likely this motivation that made them billionaires in the first place. Do you like or do you want to live like a billionaire? It is very simple. Stop trying to make a living and start trying to make a difference. Take that from me, dini-Mussolini. That is my word, and you know the deal. Word is bond. In other news, no, we have no news. We don't do news here, but I do read your email. All right, dear Dini, how can a person find their gift or talent? Well, let's see. The key to loving your job is to ask yourself one simple question. What is my biggest strength? Think about it. So many people are in jobs they hate because they haven't found their one true passion. They're good at a few things, so that's what they do here and there, but they aren't sure what that one big thing is that they want to do forever, you know? So I like to share, a few thoughts about how to execute things in business. One thing I'm aware, everybody have different life paths, different ways they get to point A to point B to point C to point D, okay? And many people chase their tails for an incredible amount of time. I was one of those people who chased their tail for like 10 years straight, right? Didn't get anywhere, but I changed my thoughts. And like I said, these things work for me, and they have been historically correct. There are things that have brought me a return on my investment, which is my time. My time is my greatest investment. What I'm also aware is that everybody has their own beliefs, circumstances, and most of all, their DNA. So for all the people, who listen in to the show, I want to have something to refer to when someone disagrees with me on the basis of circumstance or doesn't have success when trying something I've recommended. So I needed to say this, actually. Thank you for the question. Where you come from, who your parents are, what generation you were born in. Because we all have the power to change our path. Things can change overnight. You could drink too much, drive, and kill someone, and your life will completely change. Not for the better, either, for the worse. But, you can always serve your time, pay your debt to society, and be regretful for what has happened. And then make the decision to use your time to make life better. Even if you're in confinement, you can still be positive, right? Homeless, I've been there. And all of a sudden, you get a scratch and win, you win the lottery, and all of a sudden you're a millionaire. Your life will change instantly. Now, I haven't been there yet, but, Anyway, so it's all about self-awareness. It starts with really breaking yourself down. It starts with really breaking yourself down. The only real gift I have is that, for some unknown reason, be a great parenting or a great DNA, probably not the great DNA part, but parenting, yeah. I've always known exactly what I was good at. I never worried about what I was bad at. It never seemed to dawn on me to work on my weaknesses. Sure, I wanted to all consumable, but I never ever thought about taking someone's advice on how to execute. It's always just been my way, and I bought into what worked for me. Now, I'm not saying I don't take advice. I take a lot of advice, but it's kind of like religion, I studied a lot of religions, and I take from it what works for me. I don't call myself one particular religion because I don't know. I don't like to be boxed in, I guess. So here's my message. Stop doing stuff you hate. Nail down your strengths so you can discover your passion. You can ask yourself, what are my skills? And last, ask strangers. When you see somebody who's successful, you see somebody who's doing what you want to do, and you want to learn how to do that, ask them, what steps did you take to, to get where you at? I mean, some may say, hey, the game is to be sold and not to be told, and that's cool. That's how some people make their living. That's how some investors who teach investment make their living. They sell the game. Other than that, it's in the library, your free public library, all those books. Man, grab one. It won't hurt you. Just take a little time. Thanks for the question. I have another question from Katarina. Dini, can anyone learn how to sing well, or is this ability only available to those with raw talent? You know what? I'll let my special guest answer that question for you. Let's bring them back on. Ian-Eugene-Ryan, Katarina wants to know, can anyone learn how to sing well?
Katarina, I would say for some it comes much more easily. So there is some inherent talent or genetic predisposition to music for sure. But I also had a vocal teacher who said that singers are made, they're not born. So there's always a lot of hard work, whether it's, at church, in the choir, school choir, just the ear training, the sight singing. There's a lot that goes into it technically. And yes, I think everyone can sing. I'm not sure if everyone can be a great singer, but I think the ability is there. I think there is, if you can hear. Maybe it comes down to that. I'm not sure. Maybe the deaf community will fight me on that one, but that would be my answer.
Cool deal. All right, Ian-Eugene-Ryan, man, you're now in our hot seat. What do you have for us?
Cool. Well, I'm going to perform an excerpt from the screenplay, Clemente, and this is a scene towards the end of the film, and it's set in 1972, and we're at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, and we're sort of setting it up for our audience at what was called Roberto-Clemente Night, and it was a charity event for a children's hospital, and Roberto was being honored for both his career with the Pirates and for his humanitarian work. And so the stadium is packed with Clemente fans, and his family from Puerto Rico are also there. So it's a very big night. And so he's asked to say a few words to his fans. And so he steps up to the podium and he speaks to us. I have sacrificed these 16 years. Maybe I have lost many friendships due to the effort it takes for someone to try to do the maximum in a sport. I have achieved this triumph for us, the Latinos. I believe that it is a matter of pride for all of us, because we are all brothers. My greatest satisfaction comes from helping to erase the old opinion about Latin American and black ball players. If you have a chance to accomplish something that will make things better for people coming behind you, and you don't do that, you are wasting your time on this earth. And there you have it.
Nice. It's incredible, man.
Oh, thank you, Dean.
Yes, sir. All right. Ian, I just want to say thank you once again for taking this time to do this interview with us. We have a tradition here to offer our open floor or our soapbox here at the last part of the show.
Sure.
So is there anything else you like to say, anyone you like to shout out, something completely random, whatever you like, the floor is yours.
I just want to say thanks to you and everyone at Only One Media. This has really been a blast. Thank you so much for having me and letting me share this beautiful project with your audience. And a very special thanks to Carrie Messina, one of my angels and champions. So keep your ears and eyes open for more coming soon on Clemente.
Definitely. I can't wait till it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of my favorite players, by the way.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Now, I really feel like it's a long time coming, and we're really just doing a service here.
Oh, yeah.
We really are. So I'm very blessed and happy to be able to bring this story to life. It's an honor, really.
All right. Again, thank you for your time, Mr. Ian-Eugene-Ryan, everybody.
Have a great day.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/only1mediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, any app that's on a Google Play or iTunes store, or our website. And that goes from every single episode that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or a particular guest or send something for me to play, email it to vradio@only1mediagroup.com. If it's music, please label it by artist and title. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, Dini-Mussolini, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is the number one rule. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely great at just doing that. Avoid being too comfortable because you're messing with your potential when you do that. Peace and have a good night.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.